Hey folks, do I have a deal for you? This week, you're not getting one chapter, you're getting two. So we're going to go on to chapter 6. It's a short one, won't take that long. We're going to just discuss some basic drawing tools. So far we've been doing shapes and selections and doing things to them. Now we're going to actually start drawing curves and straight lines with the curvature tool. We're going to learn how to do dash lines. We're going to learn how to use the pencil tool. We're going to add some arrowheads to paths, and we're going to use the join tool. So go ahead and open the L6 start file as you see here in front of you. And I got to get Illustrator active. There we go. I got them on the artboard again. And we're going to do a file, save as, and we're going to call this Your Name Outdoor Logos. So Brenda Outdoor Logos. And again, I don't put spaces or underscores or hyphens. You can put underscores or hyphens, but don't put spaces in your file names. This is going to be BrendaOutdoorLogos.ai. We don't want spaces in that. So save that, and we are going to get to work on the curvature tool. We're going to start with artboard number 1. So I'm just going to come down here and choose artboard number 1. I'm going to zoom out a bit. It got a little carried away. Notice that the words go off the artboard down here. So remember, if this were to print, we would not see things down there. All right, we're going to click to select this circle right here, and we're going to lock it down so that it doesn't get moved. So Object, Lock, Selection. Now we can't accidentally bump that. Now we're going to switch to our curvature tool. It is the 4th tool down, and when we come into our artboard, the starting behavior is that there is an asterisk. And whenever you see that with a tool, it means you're ready to start something with that tool. Before we actually draw with it, however, we're going to change what it looks like. So come over to the Appearance panel, and we're going to give it no fill, but for the stroke, we're going to choose a dark gray. So in this line, I've shown you before that it gives CMYK, no cyan, no magenta, no yellow, but a certain amount of black. We want the 90 version, which is a dark. And we want to take our stroke up to 4 points. So no fill, but we want a 4-point dark gray stroke. All right, with the curvature tool, you start a path by clicking and releasing to create the first anchor point. And then as you create other anchor points, your path will bend or flex as needed to get to where you're going. So on the left edge of the circle path, we will see we want to start making the shape. So we're going to click once here to set our first anchor. And then if we move out to set our next anchor point, we're going to click again. And now as we start to move, we'll see how this is going to bend from one point to the next. Depending on where I click for my next anchor point, it will curve the line as needed. So from here, we are going to go up and make a point, and then we're going to come back down and make a point, and then we're going to go up a little bit and make a point. And at this point, we're done, and the easiest thing I found is just to hit Escape on your keyboard and you stop drawing. So we now have this kind of rounded, free-form shape using anchor points, but we're actually seeing how it's going to bend based on the preview that we get, the rubber banding. At this point, we now want to lock this selection. So we're going to do Object, Lock, Selection. That way this wavy line cannot be bumped around. Next up, we're going to take this horizon line that we made, which mine looks like quite a mountain as compared to the book, but we're going to make a river coming out of it that looks like it disappears. So it's going to be bigger down here and disappear up here. We're basically just going to be practicing with this tool making a river. So we're going to start on this path, and remember we just locked it. So we're going to click to make a starting point. And then we're going to There we go, there's my anchor point. Then we're going to move away and we're going to click to make our first point. So now it's a straight line, but from there, as we draw it, it's going to be bending. So we might want to come out a little bit more, but bend it like that. Maybe bend it back in here and then bend it again. I'm going to go here. And then eventually I want my river to come down here. And when I'm done, again, I hit escape to stop drawing. Now we're going to go back to about that same point and we're going to draw the other side of this river. So we're going to click up here to make our starting point. Oops, that just connected them. I didn't want to do that. I just hit escape to get that to stop. We might want to just lock this one down again to make sure we don't accidentally select it. Now we can come back up here and we can click to make our first anchor point. And then we're going to draw out to a certain point and then start bending again. So which way do we want our river to bend? Maybe like this, I don't know. There. I would say good enough, but I don't mean to say that. So escape. Again, this is just meant to look like the river is wide here and it gets smaller when it hits the horizon line. So once we stop doing that, we can click away to deselect. This piece that we locked, however, we're going to want to unlock. So we'd already locked this side. I can select this one, but you're noticing that I can't select this. If we twirl open our layers panel, and you probably see it like this, we need to twirl open layer 1. I can see that I have two things that are locked. This first one, if I turn off the visibility, that was my horizon line. That should stay locked. But the second one was that piece of river, and I actually want to unlock that so that I can select it and make some edits, still using the curvature tool. So we can use that curvature tool to edit by adding more anchor points or deleting them. So with our curvature tool still selected, we're going to click on the first river path right here until we see all of our different anchor points showing. We are going to move our pointer over the anchor point up here. And once we get it over that and we see the little bullseye sign at the bottom of our cursor show up, we can click to select that. So notice it's now blue and selected. At that point, we can drag it to reshape it a little bit so we can make it go this way or this way. By selecting it and dragging it, we can reshape it. We can do this to other parts. Select it, drag it, reshape it. Whatever we need to do. When we're done, hit escape to stop drawing. The next thing we're going to do is we need to unlock the horizon path. So we could come to our layers panel and click it here, or we could just do an unlock all. So we're going to do that. So we're going to do object and then unlock all. So everything is now unlocked, including the circle. With our curvature tool, we're going to click on the horizon line that we did. So our anchor points show up. And again, it kind of thinks we're still here at the end. So we got to kind of stay on our path. And when we're on the path, we're going to go to the right of our first anchor point. So to the right of this anchor point. And somewhere along this line, we have a plus sign showing, meaning when we click, it's going to put down another anchor point. So click, it put down an anchor point, and it's currently selected. We're going to pull this down to make this curve a little bit more dramatic. And then we're going to remove this other point that we had here. So we're going to click on this, and when it's highlighted, we're going to hit delete on our keyboard. And notice that that also affects the curve going out. We took out this one point, so it made it a little bit different leading up to this next anchor point. We are going to escape to get rid of our drawing, and we're going to lock this selection again. So object lock selection, which put a padlock right over here on that path.